What's up, everybody? Happy Labor Day weekend. How's everyone doing? What's up, Johnny? How you doing? Yeah, that 5'7" center, he's gonna be starting for us next year, so I'll have to see how he holds up now. What's up, GT? Gonna get into the actual offseason in just a minute. So, of course, it was another tough year. Went 2-10. Won our first game of the season and our last game. Take a quick look at that while we give the stream a little bit of time, everyone to get in, all that type of stuff. Won against UTEP, then ended up losing 10 straight, so another double-digit losing streak, but ended the season against North Dakota 49-28. Trenton Klemper, of course, had best rushing game we've ever seen so far in this series. 4 touchdowns, 182 yards, over 9 yards per carry. Alright, looks like the stream may have gone out for just a second there, but it looks like it's back now. But in case anyone missed it, Trenton Klemper is going to be gone. Other seniors will be gone as well, but a bunch of familiar faces will be returning. One thing to note before we head into the actual offseason is Coach Bob Nielsen is on the hot seat, so we'll have to see if he's able to keep his job. If not, of course, the series will continue. It'll just be a matter of who's going to take over for him. If he is fired, we won't meet the new head coach today, but we'll just have to see, because it looks like, looking at this, he's on the hot seat, but he's right in that middle ground between keeping his job and being fired, so that'll be something to definitely keep an eye on. Looks like the stream's back up, so that's good. I think it went down for a second, not really sure why, but hopefully we don't have any more problems with that the rest of the stream. But I think now we'll go ahead and head into the off season, and we'll have to see what happens. So 2-10, we've gone 3-21 so far. Trenton Klemper takes over youngest head coach of all time, like 23 years old. So we did have 5 second-team all-conference players. We actually were first in red zone percentage, and then Devin West made over 75% of his field goals. So now we'll go ahead and move forward. And so, yes, so Bob Nielsen will not be returning. So he's been fired after going 3-21. Like I said, he was on the hot seat, so I'll have to see where he ends up and then who takes over for him. So 1-11 and then 2-10. Definitely can see why he lost his job, but team making a brand new jump to the FBS level, probably not going to expect too much immediate success unless you're like Appalachian State, who one of the best programs in college football. But yeah, so Bob Nielsen, 0-2 against the top 25, 0-2 against South Dakota State. So he will lose his job, and now we'll move forward. So we'll have to see where he ends up. We have the coaching carousel here. I think we're going to just go ahead, move forward, let the computer pick where he's going to end up. So we'll head to players leaving and get a look at any transfers, look at all the seniors one more time before they actually leave the game and leave our roster, and see if there's any other coaching changes out there that we need to look at, anything like that. So moving forward, be interested to see where he does end up. Anybody got any big plans for Labor Day? Any fun plans? So Bob Nielsen does end up at West Virginia. Looks like he's the defensive coordinator, so that's definitely interesting. Let's see here. So he'll be joining Neil Brown. Bob Nielsen, new defensive coordinator there. So what we're going to do is go ahead and create a new coach. I wasn't sure if he'd be fired or not, but I'm just go ahead, new coach right now, and then in the offseason recap, we'll meet the official real head coach of the South Dakota Coyotes and who will be taking over for the veteran Bob Nielsen. So go ahead, sign that contract. I believe it was a 5-year deal. And then we're going to make Bob Nielsen a CPU coach so we don't have to worry about trying to control West Virginia or anything like that. So let's see real quick. So yeah, 5-year contract. Like I said, we'll meet that new head coach expecting 6 wins, that's tough. Getting 6 wins with the roster that we currently have. It's going to be tough, but we'll have to see if we're able to do it. So now getting into actual coaching changes. So nothing too big here. Looks like Brent Venables took over for Akron as their head coach. We saw Tony Elliott, the offense coordinator of Clemson. He went to North Dakota. So they're losing both their coordinators again. Wow. So that's something. I was not expecting to see that. So I guess that means that, yeah, Tony Elliott's been fired from North Dakota and is just heading straight back to Clemson. So that's definitely interesting. So North Dakota's going to have a brand new staff. Army's going to have a brand new staff. Mike Leach is going to be their offensive coordinator. So see if they make a transition to the air raid. Idaho fires their whole staff. And then, yep, you can see Bob Nielsen has been fired. He went to West Virginia. And then Zach Spavital's been fired, replaced with Brandon Hall. I think we're going to have brand new coordinators as well, just based on if you see in the bottom left corner, all their ratings are reset, all their attributes. So I think we're going to have brand new coordinators across the board as well. Let's see where Spavital went. So he got fired from us and then took a step up and is the new defensive coordinator at Washington State. So that's definitely interesting. Look at the Mountain West. See if there's any interesting stuff here. Boise State fires Brian Harsin. So wow, that's something to definitely keep an eye on. New offensive coordinator. North Dakota State gives an extension out for Matt Entz, so he'll still be there. And no change for South Dakota State. Phil Longo takes over for Gary Anderson. And Craig Bowl gets an extension as well. See some of these others. Check the SEC. So Georgia loses both of their coordinators. James Coley leaves. Steve Sarkisian takes over. And then Ryan Walters takes over. See if there's any others. Just extensions there. In the Pac-12, Brian Harsin, new OC at Arizona State. So that's definitely interesting. Then UCLA's got a new defense coordinator. Washington State fires their whole coaching staff. So Spavital, Scott Schaefer, and new offensive coordinator. Then in the ACC, we saw Clemson lost both of their coordinators. Outside of that, looks like Brian Brom, new OC for Wake Forest. James Coley takes over at Illinois as their new head coach. And then Purdue fires their whole coaching staff. And then we'll look at the Big 12 and then get into players leaving. So Gundy has actually been fired. Gary Patterson, wow, that's a huge one. Gary Patterson has been fired. Probably maybe the longest tenured head coach now in college football. He's been let go. And then, of course, Bob Nielsen takes over West Virginia. So the players leaving, no transfers, nothing like that. So that's good to see. Didn't expect anyone to be declaring for the NFL draft or anything like that. So we'll look. So Trenton Klimper, he's graduating. He had a big final game. Devontae Bell, Mike Algrim, and then Richie Campbell are all graduating. Liam Hennessy, who is the starting left tackle, is gone. Devin Martin and Brandon Groenhagen. So that's 3 offensive linemen who are graduating. I'm not super concerned there. I think we definitely have some talent. Couple of reserve defensive linemen. Terrell Rice. Rakeem Hood's a big loss. I think we can definitely replace him, but he's been consistent. 18 tackles for loss, 2 sacks in 2 seasons, and over 100 tackles. Jax Montgomery. So the secondary is where we really lose some guys. Jax Montgomery, Jeremiah Glover, Brer Derby, and then Bryson Williams, who had over 100 tackles. 2 corners, our top 2 corners, and then 2 strong safeties who played a lot. All will be gone. So that's probably my biggest concern is corner and then strong safety for next year. So I'll have to see how we're able to replace those guys. Now let's actually want to check the players leaving for the other Dakota schools. So let's see. Start with North Dakota. No transfers there. They see who they lose. Buck Mayhew's gone. Sean Horn. Bradley Beverly. Not a ton of talent really leaving, but definitely playmakers for them. We see North Dakota State. They have a ton of seniors graduating. Cam Hunter, Pearson Hayes. So only one guy drafted. Thought Pearson Hayes might be able to be drafted. Yeah, I'm definitely concerned about our defense for next year. I think we have some younger guys who can come in and step up and play. It's just a matter of they don't have experience, so seeing what they're able to do. But so looking at their team, so they lose their quarterback. One of their best recruits, 4-star Adam Sanders, he's transferring. He's a powerful back, and he's going to Illinois. Then they lose Lance Rogers, Bryce Johnson, 5 receivers. So a ton of turnover there in the skill positions and at quarterback. A few offensive linemen. Then looks like they lose most of their defensive line again. Left outside is gone. Their top 2 or 3 corners are gone. Then Cam Hunter's gone. And they lose their kicker. So I could see North Dakota State taking a big step back next year. We'll have to see, though. Then South Dakota State, they lose Jason Archie and Matthew Anderson. So those were 2 of their best true freshmen. And it looks like, let's see a good bit, too. I feel like most teams really, though, in college football every year, they're always losing some amount of players. Just with the way it works, you only get 4 or 5 years, sometimes 3 with a player. So every year you're going to be losing key players. Of course, didn't expect anybody to be drafted. Check out the other Dakota schools. South Dakota State has no one. North Dakota State, Cam Hunter goes in the 5th round. And then no one for North Dakota. Let's see. Anyone else we want to check out? Minnesota. Wow. So Antoine Winfield's gone, and they lose 2 separate quarterbacks to the NFL. Both underclassmen declare, so that's sort of crazy. Both Zach Annexstad and then Tanner Morgan both declare. Only going in the 5th and 6th round, so they probably could have stayed around, got that better, but they wanted to get that paycheck. Then let's look at Alabama. I was looking at their roster. Yeah, they have a ton of guys. They got Tua, Jerry Jeudy, Jedrick Willis, Jalen Waddle, Henry Ruggs, Patrick Surtain. So they have 4 wide receivers drafted. Jalen Waddle is a junior who declared. So it looks like a few underclassmen who declared for the draft. And then we have a spot left open on our team. We have 16 commits, 17 seniors graduating. So potentially a spot here for a transfer. I purposely left it open in case we would get one, and we don't. So not really losing anything there. The guys I would have considered for that last spot in terms of recruiting are still going to be available. But definitely disappointing we don't have anyone transferring to us. Yeah, we're trying to avoid Bama, Clemson, LSU, all those types of teams, Ohio State. That won't be pretty. We played Oklahoma in year 1, and they beat us 73-0. So we're going to try and avoid those top 5 teams for now. Maybe in the future when we're a little better, that's when we'll start to play them. So now in recruiting, we'll look at the players we currently have committed to us first, and then get a look at the players who are still left on the board. Jalen Tate, to me, is the quarterback of the future, 6'1", 228. He's got a decent arm compared to the quarterbacks currently on our roster, and is a very good athlete as well. Then Ben James, offensive line depth, First three guys, all interior, or all in the trenches, providing us depth there. Tevin Robinson, not really sure what his role will be. He's too slow to play linebacker, but has good coverage ratings, can rush the passer a little. Yeah, when we, maybe like year 5, year 6 maybe, then we'll start testing the Coyotes against like top 5 teams. But for now, we're gonna do our best to avoid that for a little bit. Terrence Mitchell, fast corner, not super big, really good in man coverage compared to his other ratings. Deion Perkins, 6'6", from Nebraska, so a big linebacker, decent athlete, needs to develop in all his other areas though. Jamie Landry from South Dakota, he's a good athlete, really good pass blocker, and most likely will be starting as a true freshman for us. Another guy who will probably be starting as a true freshman is Deion Kendrick, another local kid, 5'10", 187. Decent speed, good man coverage, and just all around compared to the cornerbacks currently on our roster is pretty good. Trey Tucker, nothing really to write home about, needed a punter, and that's who we got. Then Keel Foster, depth at safety. Terrence Bell, depth at defensive tackle. Trey Bryant, 6 foot from Kalispell, Montana. He has decent speed, has a long way to go everywhere else. He'll redshirt and just hopefully develop for a little bit. Latrell Hill, one thing I will say, all of our corners currently that we have committed, all decent athletes. I think it's like 88, 89, and 91 speed, which is a big upgrade over the guys we currently have on our roster. And then Xavier Thomas and Shedrick Simpson, different skill sets, but both good developmental guys. I'm glad we got them. Provide depth at the end position. Thomas is more of a run stopper, whereas Shedrick Simpson has more potential as a pass rusher, a little bit better of an athlete as well. So a look at the final guys we have on our board. We, like I said, have 16 commits, and you can see we have 17 spots open. So I'm thinking based on these guys, DJ Davis is interesting. Just entering as a junior, as a 65 overall, probably being like 6th or 7th on the depth chart, isn't super valuable to me. Caleb Alford, he is a decent athlete, I guess, at corner. Good in man, but would have a long way to go. One of the positions I feel like is most important to get more depth at all the time, but most importantly with the players we have on our roster or players for next year graduating, is offensive line. We have 3 commits, but we'll have 5 guys graduating next year. So we have a couple of guys there. And Josh Gilmore and Sonny Hubbard. Hubbard isn't quite the same athlete as Josh Gilmore, but he's a better run blocker, and I feel like a better player overall, even though he's not quite as strong or athletic. I like the run blocking for him. Yeah, one of the things I'm trying to avoid is, like, when I get a junior college player, redshirting him, just because I feel like most of the time in real college football, you sign a junior college player, the majority of the time it's so they can play right away. And we could redshirt him. He definitely would be interesting. Just those ratings, if he was like a sophomore, I feel like would be really good. But he's not super fast. His hands are okay. His route running's okay. Doesn't do much after the catch. So I think it's really down to DJ Davis and then Sonny Hubbard with the... Let me see if I can look at our receivers that we currently have. So yeah, we have Deontay Knox, Cooper Price, Nate Went, Cordell Hicks, Deion Gilbert. I think Dontavius Knight's going to play some wide receiver, split time between running back. We also have Jacoby Patton, who I like, who will be a sophomore this upcoming season. So we have some guys ahead of him. And in the offensive line, we have a senior here, junior there, senior there, then a couple of sophomore and freshmen who will be playing at tackle, most likely. Yeah, we'll definitely have to hopefully find some quarterback depth other than Jalen Tate. I'm thinking maybe next year if I can find a junior college quarterback, then it would definitely be helpful, someone who would be more ready to play. Just because, like you said, we have 3 juniors who will be graduating after season 4, and Jalen Tate's not enough. We need a backup for him or someone to challenge him. So ideally next year, get a junior college quarterback and then maybe a freshman who can develop as well. But I think the best move for the future is to get Sonny Hubbard. Maybe DJ Davis commits and then we can make a decision there. But there's nothing super special to me about him, and I think offensive line depth's more important. We've recruited okay there so far, but with 5 guys graduating, I think that's probably the most important position for us. So I think that'll do it for the actual recruiting part, and we'll move forward to signing day. I would have liked to got DJ Davis. Like I said, if he was a freshman, those are great ratings, even if he's a sophomore, but just as a junior who could play a little bit, I don't know how worth it that is. Honestly, I was really hoping we would get some sort of transfer to fill that final spot, not have to worry about it, get someone who is probably a little higher overall, maybe from a... Yep, I can do that. I'll show you that after this. You see. Oh no, I forgot to change something else. Whenever you create a new coach, it'll add new players, but since I didn't actually sign that running back, I don't think he's gonna be making the roster. So let me see. I'll do the sub-submitted guys. So I know Jamari Chase was one. He ended up at Ohio. We'll have to see his future. Pretty sure GT, yours was Vaughn Donahue. And he ended up at UCF. So he'll get a play in that up-tempo, high-powered offense. One thing I want to check real quick. Quinn Flowers, not Quentin. Trying to remember the other ones. If there's any recruits that you want to see, let me know. I'm trying to remember them as best I can. I think there was one from Nevada. Devin Stewart. He's going to Western Kentucky. Then North Dakota. I believe Will Bryant was one of them. And he's going to Pitt. Jamal Kilpatrick, who was on our board at one point, he ended up at Miami. What was the name of yours? Was it the Troy Simpson? Was that your guy? Can't really remember. But Troy Simpson, I know he was one of them. He ended up at Buffalo, beating out North Dakota and Kansas. Let's see. I know there was one from Oregon. Adam Hunter. He went to Michigan State. One was from Washington. I believe it was a corner. Or... let's see. There's one from Nevada. No. Where was he from? Wyoming, maybe? Yeah. Barry Muhammad was another one. He ended up at Bowling Green. Then there was one from Washington. Let me see. Yeah. Was the offensive lineman, it was Troy Simpson, right? I believe that's right. So I think that's the majority of them. Can't remember all of them off the top of my head. But what we're going to do is go ahead, remove all these players. And then get a look at some of the other stuff. So Jamal Kilpatrick ends up at Miami. He was a really weird play. I don't know what his position was. Josh Gilmore goes to Wyoming. DJ Davis. So I had to put a lot of points in him to get him. He ended up at Illinois. Wyoming gets another one in Antoine Smith. Derek Mason goes to Utah. LaMarcus Farmer. Let's see. Yeah, some of these guys, so I can show you. They weren't my recruits. Need to change this. Because the CPU, it looks like added guys and then offered them scholarships. But yeah, so you can see majority of our players once again from these states right here. Jalen Tate, the only player that we recruited personally that was not. He's from Los Angeles. Then who is this in Ohio? Or maybe that's Pennsylvania. Yeah. Ricky Hill, who was one of the guys that the computer just added to our class. Look at the top classes. So we end up 124th, beating Toledo and Western Michigan, UTEP, Akron. Let's see where the other Dakota schools ended up. So North Dakota ends up with the 49th recruiting class. Bunch of 3 stars here. So it looks like they added talent once again. Then still going to find the other Dakota schools. So North Dakota State, number 26, after like 18 averaging 9 wins their first 2 seasons. A few 4 stars, 3 4 stars, bunch of 3 stars, and then a few 1 stars down there. And then South Dakota State with the 21st recruiting class. Wow. So they end up top 25 after going 5-7 and like 3-9. A number of 4-star prospects here. Got a good quarterback, it looks like. They already have a good one on their roster. I think his name's Aaron Massey. He's a good dual threat guy. So that's definitely interesting. Then I think the last thing we'll look at is top players. Yeah, Von Donahue, if he gets playing time in that UCF offense, we've seen how good it is in real life. So he may be putting up big numbers for him. So number 1 player in the country, looks like maybe a defensive or offensive lineman, goes to Purdue. Alabama, of course. Believe Arizona got the number 1 tight end last year. They do it again. Number 1 running back goes to Clemson. Last year, I think the number 1 went to South Carolina. So the Palmetto State getting a bunch. Another one for Clemson. Wisconsin gets the number 1 quarterback. See if there's any other ones. TCU gets a 5-star athlete. Alabama again. Florida, Notre Dame. Arkansas gets a 5-star athlete. Texas gets a really good defensive tackle. Then Northwestern, Georgia State gets one. Georgia, Cal, Ball State, Kansas, Texas A&M, Clemson with another. So they had a few 5 stars, it looks like. One thing I want to check is the defensive tackles. So Texas, Ohio State, Nebraska. Just seeing the future of like the defensive line. Texas gets another one there. So that's definitely interesting. I think Notre Dame got like 3 5-star corners last year. This year they're going to Alabama, Stanford, and Duke. But so we'll go ahead, move forward. I don't think there's really anything else to see there. Look at one more thing real quick. Just our top class, or our class. See who all committed. So I definitely see some names I don't recognize who are walk-ons. Most likely they will not be making the roster. So I ended up signing 21 players. Now we'll move to position changes. I think there's a few I want to make here. Nothing too crazy. You can see best rated players are Bo Weaver, Deontay Knox, Devin West, and Tate Wagner currently before any training at 72 overall. Jalen Tate currently our number 2 quarterback. That's Ricky Hill. He walk-on running back. Then no one really at receiver, tight end. Offensive line, there were a few changes I wanted to make. Noah Butler's a really good run blocker, so I want him at right tackle. Then I want to move Bo Weaver, who's a better pass blocker, to protect J.R. Miller's blind side, to left tackle. Then Jamie Landry, he's at left guard, which is where I wanted him. Noah Johnston's a better run blocker, so I'm going to put him at right guard. So we can have really good run blockers here, better pass blockers here. Sternberg is our center. Then want someone who's not redshirting as a backup center. So I think that's good there. Then defensive line, I think there's a few changes I want to make. Balance this out a little bit. So I want to move Javon Miller to left end. Tevin Robinson, I decided the best place for him, I think, is defensive end where he can rush the passer. And then I think we may run some more zone blitz type things where he's going to drop into coverage some because he has good coverage ratings, just not a great athlete. So I don't think he could play linebacker full-time, but I definitely like him as a defensive end sort of hybrid there. Yeah, we have good size along our offensive line, actually. 6'4", 6'4", 5'7", we don't talk about that. 6'4", and then 6'8". So, and then 6'6" is his backup. So definitely a lot of good size along the offensive line. Not something we necessarily had to begin the series. Then I think I want to move Xavier Thomas, to me, is a better left end. Yeah, we definitely need quarterback depth. That'll be something we'll work on. Probably be one of our top priorities. Running back, something else, because we have senior and junior. I do like our redshirt freshmen, but we need more depth after that to develop behind them for the future. And then, yeah, just more. We can never have too much offensive line depth, especially with a few seniors graduating. Just going to have to keep getting different players to just add depth there. Sonny Hubbard, I want to move to right guard because he's better run blocking. Yeah, so I think the offensive line is good now. I like the defensive line. We have a lot of depth there, but 2 seniors and then another senior graduating. So we're going to need more depth there. College football is just about continually finding depth. Defensive tackle is good. Need to balance out this a little bit. So I think we're going to move Kelly Sprinkle to left outside linebacker. That will add a little more balance there. And then the other thing I really considered a whole lot was what to do with our secondary. Because I feel like Warner and Kendrick are 2 really good. They'll be fine as our number 1 and 2 corners. Zakowski's a little too slow, in my opinion, to play corner. So I think what we're going to do, he's already a higher overall at free safety, so we're going to move him there. And then strong safety, we've graduated our top 2. And with not a lot of depth at corner, especially now moving Zakowski, I think we're going to run probably a 3-3-5. Especially because we don't have a ton of depth here. So that'll allow us to use less defensive tackles. Then we're going to move Bukowski and Trevon Simmons to strong safety. They drop a little bit in overall, but I think they'll both be good there. So we can play 3 safeties. Zakowski's got good coverage ratings, and then they can play in the box. So I think that's all the position changes that we need to do. Now we move to what may be the most fun part of the offseason. There's only ever good news here is the training results. So we'll have to see who takes big jumps, see if any players who are further down on the depth chart take a big jump. So looks like +5, only +3 for Bo Weaver. So that's very disappointing. I was hoping for a big jump and him potentially at some point maybe getting drafted. Only +3 for Cooper Price. But we'll look at the whole roster. So Ezekiel Wood, he goes up +5. Jared Miller +4. Corbin Brady, sad, +3. Miller gets a little bit faster. He gets a stronger arm, more accurate. So I don't think there will be a quarterback competition. I'd rather have better athlete, better arm with only a 2-point sacrifice in accuracy. Miller's been just fine in terms of his accuracy, completing over 60% of his passes. Then at running back, so a +5 for Knight and Rakeem Boyd, so that's good to see. Only +4 for Page and Libby. So Knight and Libby, actually Rakeem Boyd's our fastest running back now. Let's see, +3 for break tackle. Boyd's actually got pretty good trucking. All of them have decent or good elusiveness. Really good juke move for these two. And Rakeem Boyd. I really like Rakeem Boyd's ratings. I think his biggest problem is his carrying isn't very good. But in terms of athleticism and that type of stuff, yeah, Jared Miller, he's not super slow. He's just slow. He's not fast. That is true. Page, coming back from an injury, had a lot less, or 24 less carries, last year, but yards per attempt went up, missed the last 3 or 4 games. So we'll have to see how he's able to return and how the running back distribution shakes out. But then one more thing to show you in our running backs is both Page and Knight, they both can catch the ball pretty well. Knight all around, though, is much better. So I think in any sort of situation where we have a running back running routes, Dontavius Knight's going to take over in that role. At fullback, +4, LaDorian Bolden. Biggest thing I want to check is his blocking. Went up a decent amount, still not super great. He doesn't play a whole ton. We don't really use a fullback a lot. So Phoenix McDonald, I was hoping for a big jump from him. He only goes up +4. +5, though, for Deontay Knox. Yeah, I'm really excited for Rakeem Boyd. Maybe when he's a junior, maybe once Page and Libby are gone. I think him and Knight definitely add a nice duo, really elusive and then fast and powerful. Yeah, currently he may see maybe a carry or two a game, maybe on like a swing pass, something like that, where he can get in the open field. But with that carrying where it is currently, I don't see him having a huge impact. Really, it looks like none of our receivers took a big jump at all outside of Deontay Knox, which is disappointing. +1 speed for Phoenix McDonald's, definitely good. Looking at the catching ratings, Knox by far our best receiver in those aspects. Cooper Price, hands get better. +5 for Muhammad Ali Saria. We haven't seen him play at all so far, but gets the +5. Some of the best route running. Phoenix McDonald's still a long way to go in terms of his catching, but does add nice speed. Tight end +5 for Hicks, only +4 for Tate Wagner. See the catching for them. Yeah, Cordell Hicks, I'm excited for his sophomore season. He may need to play more, get more involved. He was involved early in the season and then didn't do quite as much after coming back from injury. If he was just a little bit better of a blocker, I don't think we would ever really see Tate Wagner play. But Tate Wagner's blocking ability is just so good that it's hard to not play him, especially when we're running the ball. Offensive line, +3 there. +5 for Noel. We don't see Landry get any better than +5 and +6. So Sternberg, pretty good rating there. He'll be maybe our second or third highest rated offensive lineman. +6 for Johnston. That's huge. He was pretty good last year. He's a good run blocker. Pass blocking gets better. On the right side of our offensive line, with the moves we made. Definitely very focused there. Only +4 for Noah Butler, but his run blocking is very good, just not very great as a pass catcher. So Cordell Hicks, let's see. He's got decent trucking, not great really. He's got a good stiff arm and trucking, not really going to make you miss much. But with those continuing to develop and just being quick and strong, like I feel like he can definitely, I mean, he showed it in year 1 with his catch, after the catch abilities. Then defensive line, only +3 for Shadot Hanson, which is disappointing after a really good sophomore season. +4, +3. Not a whole lot of growth really on our defensive line, which is disappointing. Only +4 there. Sylvia Widenar with a +4. He gets faster and stronger again. Good tackling, good power move. Still can't cover though. LaDorian Bolden, who could have started at middle linebacker last year, but I wanted to get him an extra year of eligibility and more time to develop as a coverage guy, goes up +5, which is good to see. Gets a little faster. A little better in tackling. Block shedding gets better. Pursuit. He's undersized, but like block shedding, pursuit, hit power is all really good. His biggest weakness, though, is just coverage ability. So I think when we go into like a dime look, you won't really see him play much. It'll be Jackson Harvey and Sylvia Widenar. Yeah. I think his Cordell Hicks' biggest role is like he's got the speed to go down the seam and throwing that, then short underneath passes where he can run after the catch is really where he'll shine moving forward. Jackson Harvey goes up +4. Still not super athletic, but does get better there. He's better tackling, better pass rusher, better at stopping the run. Just all around, outside of his athleticism, Jackson Harvey is really good. And I'm excited for him to keep developing because like that's by far the best zone coverage we have of any of our linebackers. Probably the best block shedding we maybe have. And he can tackle well or hit decently and rush the passer. He just does everything pretty well. Warner only goes up +3. Sean Saldana, who may be our number 3 corner, potentially goes up +5. It's a pretty disappointing boost in one of our most important positions for Warner. But all around pretty decent here. Very mixed, balanced corner in terms of man and zone. Sean Saldana, pretty decent in man and zone, just can't press at all, is probably his biggest weakness. Then at free safety, Zakowski gets quicker, gets a +4. His tackling goes up a little bit. Coverage ratings are the most important thing. Gets a +3 in all of them, so that's definitely good to see. Really good play rec, good pursuit, so I think he could play in the box or be over the top. Because 68 is not great for a safety, but compared to the other ratings we have, it's much better and his man coverage is good. Then we get +4 and +5 for Bukowski and Simmons. Yeah, I mean, we had Jeremiah Glover, who was 5'6", so the size at corner is getting better. We got, I think it's like 5'10", 5'11", 5'11" from our corners, but 5'7", that's tough to deal with for sure. Devin West goes up +5. See if he's got any more kick power. We're going to need to get a new recruit at kicker as he is a senior. And he goes up +6, so that's good to see. Definitely better kick power for next year. And that's everything for the training results. So now we move into cutting players. I don't think this should be too difficult. Shouldn't be a ton of guys to cut, so 4 to cut. And we're going to have to cut so at corner we can actually see the freshmen. So 5'7", but then we have 5'10", 5'11", 5'11", 5'11", 5'11". So better size moving forward, especially with the freshmen. And then if Sikowski ever does move back to corner, he's 6'2", so that's really good size for corner. But we'll have to find some players to cut now. Let's see, at linebacker, Dane Swain. He is one of those walk-ons, don't have room for him. Same with Derek Hines. Shannon Davidson would like to keep him, but with the rules we have set up, he also has to go. And then, let's see. Yeah, I was seeing if maybe we could keep him, but yeah, Ricky Hill's got to go. 3-star walk-on, just got put on our team because the CPU changed our settings. But so now it's pretty quick getting down to 70 players. Few players close now to 80 overall. Still waiting for the first one there. But top of the roster has definitely gotten better so far. And we have a junior and sophomore there. And then sophomore, junior. So definitely room to grow as well. Now we move into custom conferences. There's been a little bit of hints and noise being made throughout the country, especially the Midwest, about would South Dakota be joining a conference, and we'll have to see if they will and what conference if they do, what they'll be joining. Taking a while to get through cutting players. Yeah, Knox definitely will, because he'll at least get a +3. I don't think I've ever seen a +2. So he'll definitely be an 80 next year, which will be great to see. Obviously won't be enough to get him drafted. It's not high enough. But I feel like in real life, with potentially 4 years of good production, I could see him at least getting signed by someone. So South Dakota, new head coach, new conference, as they will be joining the Mountain West, and they'll be moving to the Mountain Division. I think I decided that they'll be joining I'll be moving New Mexico. That way we can play South Dakota State, North Dakota State, Wyoming, Colorado State, Air Force, and Boise State. So we get more of the teams close to us, and then occasionally we'll play some of the teams that are more out west. Yeah, we're definitely not playing in the Pac-12 or Pac-10, Big 10, Big 12, nothing like that. Maybe in the future once we're a little better. Once we're better, we'll start playing like LSU, like those type of teams, and we can compete with them. Then we will see about moving in the future. One thing real quick, I don't know if there's any settings that we need to change in the conference rules, but we'll check real quick. Don't really need any protected rivalries, not super important. So I think everything... I'm not sure. I think the lowest I've seen is... I think it was like an 88 or 87 was drafted, and it was like in the 7th round. But I feel like it has to be certain circumstances, like great production, not a lot of other players going pro at that position. I think that's the lowest I've seen, and they're like 7th round picks. But as Dynasty progresses, the way it seems to work is you have 1,000,099 overalls. So that makes it even tougher for like lower rated players to be drafted. So that will do it for the actual off-season portion. 40 overall drafted in the first round. I think there was one time it was a fullback was drafted in the game, and he was like an 84 overall, and we went in the 3rd round. Which, imagine in real life if someone took a like sort of okay fullback in the 3rd round. So we'll look at our schedule first and see who we have. So play North Dakota State in week 12. Play Colorado State, Wyoming, Boise State. So we traveled to the blue turf this year. Air Force at home again. South Dakota State on the road. So I think these two will have a repeat of the location for the Dakota games. Then Utah State, we play at home again, but we actually play Fresno State on the road. So now we'll have to try and find our out-of-conference opponents, if we can find a way, yeah, we'll definitely play North Dakota. Let me see if I can get them, because we need to play someone in week 13 or 14 to finish off the season. So we'll have to see. Well, that works perfectly. So we'll be playing North Dakota week 14. So that solves one of them, but we do still have 3 more. One team, especially with both their quarterbacks graduating, I want to try and play, and they're close to us. We recruited a lot of players from this state. Play Minnesota. They're number 24, so not super highly rated. And then see week 1 who's available. Prefer to play someone who's a little lower rated for this first game. Could play, not sure exactly what these teams' ratings are, so it's a little hard. Could play like South Alabama. Play Texas, yeah. Texas State, I think we already played them. Toledo, UAB, UTSA. And let me know if there's any teams that y'all want to see me play. Think we'll definitely play Minnesota and then North Dakota, but then we have 2 spots left open. Could play Army. Play against the triple option a few times this year. Yeah, no Texas. That was definitely a joke. Maybe Central Michigan. Probably isn't too highly rated. East Carolina. South Alabama. Could play UTSA. That would be interesting. Let's look at someone for this game. Anyone who really pops out. Buffalo would be good. I wonder if they're available. So they're not available week 1. Maybe available there, though. So we could play... I don't hate the idea of playing Buffalo. Playing a team out east, probably wouldn't think super highly rated, would be my guess. But I think they have Jarrett Patterson, who's really good. So then to open the season, if we're playing Buffalo, we could potentially play someone who's a little bit better on the road. See if anyone really stands out. Thinking maybe for this one, play a pretty good group of, like a good group of 5 team, or playing a lower on the ladder P5 team. Already played Missouri. Already played Oregon State. Oh, I'd be down to play South Carolina. That's my team. It's definitely a tough start to the season, but then it would get easier. No one ranked the rest of the way. Play a couple top 25 teams, really test the team. Play one in the southeast, one right by us, one northeast, then another right by us. So I think I like that. It may change a little bit. I wonder, let's see if Buffalo's available here. Yes, we could play Buffalo there just to split it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm a South Carolina fan. Grew up one, still am one. So it looks like gotta play Looks like I gotta play. Let's see. Play South Carolina. Then Minnesota. Wasn't Buffalo available right here? Or am I going crazy? I could play Buffalo there. Yeah, it hasn't been great for the Gamecocks lately against Clemson for sure. Who am I looking for? Minnesota. Yeah, so we could do that. That splits up the top 25 games. Get a couple fun ones on the road. Let's look at Minnesota, Buffalo, and South Carolina. See what their rosters look like. We'll do this, maybe edit some of the numbers and appearances of players, and then get into some practice. So Buffalo, yeah, Jarrett Patterson, James Patterson. So a couple, I assume they're brothers would be my guess. Another good running back, good corner, quick quarterback. So that could definitely be a tough game. They've got some offensive weapons and good defensive players on the top of their roster. But then it definitely trails off. So I think we could stay competitive in that one. Then Minnesota, they got Muhammad Ibrahim, Rashad Bateman. Then a couple defensive players, good D tackles. At quarterback, got a sophomore and a freshman. So we'll have to, I would assume it'll be Cole Kramer who starts for them. See what their throw power. Yeah, to me, that's a very easy decision on who starts. Get +7 right there, and very similar and much better runner. Yeah, wow. I don't know why you would not start Patrick Smith, but looks like Cole Kramer, a little more experience, would get the start. Yeah. But they're one of the teams I wanted to play. I'm trying to play all the P5 teams around us. Play Nebraska at some point later, but we played Iowa State, Kansas State. Yeah. But wanted to play at least a couple teams who are real good. We've been doing that pretty consistently. Last year we played Missouri, who was talented. And, oh goodness, South Carolina. Wow. So quarterback, they got Ryan Helinski, who was an All-American last year, 28-3. It's not a very nice number combination in my opinion. Kerryon Joyner, Kevin Harris, Deshaun Fenwick. That was the number one running back in the country. He didn't transfer. He's going to be stuck behind him a little while longer, it looks like. Then receiver, got some talent there. Not a lot of speed though. Rick Sandage, Ernest Jones, Dylan Wanham. Yeah, especially South Carolina. They got a lot of defensive players up there. Mukwamu. Where's J.C. Horn? Wonder if J.C. Horn went pro. Yeah, it looks like J.C. Horn went pro. So don't have to deal with him at least. Jamie Robinson. Recognize a lot of those names. But yeah, so I like that schedule. Then look at the depth chart real quick. Yeah, definitely a scary roster. I wasn't quite expecting that from Minnesota and South Carolina, but we'll have to see how we're able to play. Think for running backs this year, we'll probably have a mix of these three, just depending on the situation. At wide receiver, I like that. Jacoby Patton. Left tackle, Weaver. I'll probably fix this more, just getting starters the way I want them. Let me at least get... And I probably will do the red shirts after, just so we can have all the players we want to see actually play, even if they'll be redshirting. LaDorian McCray, Jackson Harvey. That's good. Cool. So depth chart's good. See what our playbook is with the new coach. I feel like I'm fine with spread. I'll change that up. Probably come up with a new playbook for the actual season. But fine with spread for now. Now let's get into editing some appearances and numbers. So Jalen Tate. See what number for him we can give him. Give him number 9, number 7, number 99. I think probably either number 7 or number 9. I like both of those. Think maybe number 7. Let's see. Get rid of that. Right? That looks good to me. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, J.R. Miller's impact player for us. Yeah, I like 7. There's definitely been at least one notable scrambling quarterback out there before who has worn number 7. I think that guy was pretty good. You know, Michael Vick and all. Then their numbers are good. Phoenix McDonald. I may want to change his number. I don't hate 85. We'll keep him as 85 for now. Trey Bryant, not Parker. He'll redshirt for us, so we don't need to worry about that a whole ton. Then Tevin Robinson. I think I want to give him a different number. Maybe 9. Since he's a lot of defensive linemen now are wearing number like single digits, so I like that for him. Get rid of that shoulder pad height. I think that's good. Then I think the only other one, probably Deion Kendrick. Get him a new number. I like 14. Definitely not bad. I'll probably do more number changes afterwards as well. Terrence Mitchell, 45 is not going to work for me. You're a cornerback. 27's good with me. Then I think that's good for number changes. Like I said, I'll do more equipment editing, all that type of stuff after. But now we get into fun part of the off season, actual practice. Make sure it's nice and clear. And let's get into it. See some of these new freshmen coming in. See if any players look any faster, any better. I assume they will. Some redshirt freshmen as well. Dontavius Knight, LaDorian Bolden. Or LaDorian McCray, not LaDorian Bolden. That is a different player. So we'll have to see how big of a jump we're able to take. We went up by 1 win, but we were close in probably 4-ish games that were potentially winnable. I know Fresno State, we missed the game-winning field goal. South Dakota State, we lost by 3. Utah State, we lost by 5, I think. The Northwestern game was really close till the fourth quarter. So we almost beat them. All right, so practice, we'll start with a spread look. Let's see what we have in here. Sure. Yeah, North Dakota State, I don't think we lost by 1. We lost by 56. Then 335. Go ahead, back it up to midfield. And we'll start with the starters, and then we'll work in some other players we want to see. See what Jalen Page can do. Oh, Deion Kendrick. I'm excited for him. I think he can cover well, hit well too. Now let's take a shot. See, test him out. Cooper Price? Nope. Deion Kendrick right there. All right. Oh. That was weird. I know it bounced off the defender, but that was definitely something. Little play action. Oh, who was that? Shadow Hansen getting the sack. See if we can actually get some time this time. That's Eric Zakowski in coverage. That's good to see. Yeah, I think that's where Hicks can make his living. Back-to-back plays, we'll see the routes that I think he'll be good on. Well, didn't catch that one, but I'm not exactly sure what type of playbook I want to go with for Season 3, because we think we have a lot. We have 3 running backs that I want to play. We have a number of receivers, 2 tight ends. We have a better offense, probably the best offensive line we've had so far in the series. So I think we could definitely see a lot more multiple looks. Some twin tight end, 4 wide receivers, empty with either Page or... All right, I need to stop on this triple option. I'm not paying enough attention. See if we can actually get it this time. There we go. But I think we could see a lot of different formations. Oh. Who was that? Xavier Warner. All right, let's take a shot deep. Kendrick's there and picked off. I'm pretty sure he has good hands too, so I could see him having some picks. There we go, Cordell Hicks. Nice route running. Send everyone deep. All right. Oh, go away. Jackson Harvey, a little too quick up the middle. All right. So too high press coverage. I just want to keep testing, well, Teron Simmons on the blitz. I would like to test Deion Kendrick more. Bukowski. Oh, Cooper Price. You got to make that catch. Now let's send Cordell Hicks deep. Bukowski again. Want to hit this double move. There we go. I wonder what his catching is. Cause I hope it's good. Let's see actually all our corners. I guess all our defensive backs and what their catching is. So yeah, 76. That's better than some of our receivers. Terrence Mitchell's not super great. I think, yeah, Zakowski's 72. Not great here though. Could be coming away with a lot of interceptions. All right, let's roll out. Make a play. Oh. Skowski can't make that catch. All right. Let's get some more players we want to see in. I feel like the player I maybe want to see the most is Dontavius Knight. He's as fast as Pierce Libby, but quicker, better in the open field, because he's got similar break tackle, but better elusiveness, better juke move, better spin move. Then at receiver, let's put out Deion Gilbert. and put in Jacoby Patton. Want to see what he's able to do. Cordell Hicks. Then defense. That's not a bad idea. I'll definitely do that probably a little later. See what he can do at receiver. Let's see what Xavier Thomas and Shedrick Simpson can do. Martell's is fine. That's good. We'll put out Deion Perkins, see what he's able to do. And see what Sean Saldana can do. I think that's good. Wonder if we have in this playbook. Nope. I was hoping we had like I guess I can do, what is that? That works. Get him at wide receiver. Just start. Oh, that didn't work. Well, we'll do. Let's try this. 3-3-5. Get Sylvia on the line of scrimmage. There's Deion Gilbert. Hoping for a big senior season for him, though he'll still be down on the depth chart. Jacoby Patton. I think that may be one of the first times we've ever seen him, and he drops it. Who is that? Deion Perkins. He's quick and he's big, so we'll have to see. Alright. Let's try Hicks. Oh. Wanted Hicks deep one-on-one. Double coverage. Let's see. Ah. Who's that? Bukowski? Try Patton deep. Make a play. Oh, I thought he caught that. I was about to be like, he needs some playing time right away. Good coverage there. All right, one-on-one. Oh, no. What was that throw? Deion Gilbert again. Double coverage. Oh, Cordell Hicks. See, he made a few plays like that at the beginning of the season, and I was excited. All right, let's actually run the ball with Dontavius. Ooh, not quick enough to get outside there. Ooh, yeah. We'll definitely get Jalen Tate out there. Let's see if this formation. Yeah, so that's got some option. We'll go back to that. That's fine. Then put in Jalen Tate. I want Knight and Rakeem Boyd. Then at receiver, let's see. Do Jacoby Patton, Phoenix McDonald, and Muhammad Ali Saria. So we can see some different players a little lower on the depth chart. All right, one more throw. Patton, nope, Deion Kendrick. Oh. He made some people miss there. Shovel option. Ooh. He's definitely quicker than J.R. Miller is for sure. Throw outside. That's a good throw and good catch by Phoenix McDonald. Let's try. Just send him scrambling. Yeah. definitely just a tiny difference than J.R. Miller's speed. Let's have him throw a deep ball. Phoenix McDonald, our fastest receiver. Get it? Oh, okay. Phoenix McDonald making a big play. See, that's what I'm hoping for the future. Tate's got a bigger arm. That was a weird spin move. But he's got a bigger arm. McDonald has speed. I think this offense is headed in the right direction. Just keeps calling this shovel option. Oh. That was weird. That's a good catch. I think Dontavius Knight, he's going to play inside and out. Or, not inside and out. Add running back and receiver. I think I'm going to add some empty packages. Oh, that's a drop. Empty packages so that he can play, like, line up out wide. And then also, like, get swing passes. And just get runs to the outside, too. All right, let's see. We'll just call... Wish I could, like, pick a couple plays. But we'll just do option. Then a nickel. Nowhere to go there. Nowhere to go there. Uh-oh. Oh, Ladorian Bolden gets off the block. I saw a touchdown right there. Yeah, I think Rakeem Boyd, like by the time... Oh, that was bad. By the time he's, maybe even next year, but definitely a sophomore or a junior or senior, his acceleration, his quickness is going to be better. Because right now he looks... like he's fast, but his acceleration isn't just quite good enough. But that, okay. Just as I say that, Rakeem Boyd, touchdown. That was a good one. See, just got to say negative things and they perform. Jalen Tate, good block. Okay, back to how Boyd was doing. Not much you can really do when the line's not blocking, though. But you can definitely tell he's got more speed than the other running backs we've seen. I think that's something that Jalen Tate can do pretty well, is just run over defenders. Because he's like 230 pounds. So he's definitely a big body. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, good block. Ah. See, Dontavius Knight not quite as fast as Rakeem Boyd. That's Boyd is probably a touchdown. But J.R. Miller, he's pretty good at running the option. I think when Jalen Tate takes over, it's going to go to a whole nother level. He just has way more speed. Cut it back. Uh-oh. Oh. See, on plays like that, I see touchdown. All right. Let's see. So I want to put Deion Kendrick at wide receiver. Wherever he is. Then I actually want to put... I won't be able to. Put Rakeem Boyd as the number 1. Then I'm going to put Dontavius Knight as a wide receiver. And Jacoby Patton's fine there. Jalen Tate staying in. So we'll go... Let's see. Yeah. Something like this is probably good. It's got some option. Throw it down the field, too. Stick with that formation. All right, first things first, I want to send Because Deion Kendrick, he's pretty fast too. He's like 89 speed. Let's see. Wonder if I can make him play defense against himself. All right. Good catch. All right, let's try Dontavius. See what he's able to do. Oh, drops it. See, that's a good route and a good catch. So I think he could be like dual threat, 500 yards of each, maybe. Like 500 yards on the ground, 500 yards as a receiver, and then return some kicks for us. Oh, okay. That was good. See, that's what I expected from him. Like he can line up in the backfield, even line him up as a receiver out wide, and just have him do this. 3 men right there, little juke move, take it all the way. Why are you so fast? I thought he'd be able to outrun Deion Perkins. Deep ball. Wow. Sikowski is good on the like deep passes. Playing that deep third, he's doing really good. Sean Saldana. I think he's a senior now. I was not quite as good. See Rakeem Boyd, open field. Ladorian McCray showing some nice speed there. What's up, Taylor? How you doing? Good play by Sylvia. That was a nice move. Here. I want to see... Let me switch Patton and then Kendrick, and I want to get him in these bubble screens. Actually, I want to see Dontavius Knight do it. See what he can do in the open field on a little bubble screen. Was it this formation? Yeah. Stick. We'll go back 3-3-5. Yeah. He can definitely make people miss for sure. Not always. It's going to take a little time. But yeah, then he does that and start to understand why I'm so excited for him. All right, let's take another shot. He definitely has a stronger arm for sure than J.R. Miller. There, that's what I was looking for, the Kendrick on Kendrick. Who's going to win? Deion or Deion? Oh. Did not audible there. Make a play. Deion Kendrick wins. Who would have guessed? All right, now we got one-on-one. Oh, I was about to say, that would have been a dope catch. Deion Kendrick again. Oh, drops that one though. I think you could see more screens like that this year because I feel like we have better playmakers now that we can get them the ball in the open field and they'll do a little bit better. Oh my. Yeah, well, it's Deion Kendrick against Deion Kendrick. Just one playing offense, one playing defense. There we go. Yeah, goodness. Another Deion, but that's Deion Perkins. He looks massive. Especially compared to LaDorian McCray, who's like 6 foot 180. Like you can see him next to each other at middle linebacker and then the left outside, or I guess right outside. He just looks so big. Anything else anybody wants to see in the practice? Because we saw, I don't really care to see Ezekiel Wood play. Saw Dontavius and Rakeem. Saw most of our receivers play. No one really there. Defense, Deion Kendrick, Terrence Mitchell. Zakowski, he looked good, for sure. Then we'll have to see about the strong safeties. Also, who will be our kick returner? I think it may be either Deion Kendrick or Dontavius Knight would be my guess. Because I feel like Knight has the best elusiveness, but Kendrick has better speed. All right, so we'll get the starters back in. So we'll get Jalen Page in, then we'll get Cordell Hicks in the slot, J.R. Miller back in, and get a look at how they play. So we'll go 4 wide. I think we already did that one. Yeah, we'll do this one. Although those plays look the same. Do this one. Do our dollar defense. All right. Not much there. J.R. Miller somehow just makes everybody miss. They're just always like a little too slow. Cordell Hicks one-on-one. Nope. Zakowski comes out of nowhere. Oh, that was a bad throw. Good catch, though, by Cordell. Let's just do a normal run. One thing I want to point out there. Let's see. So there's Jack Sternberg and Pedro Martels. Sternberg is 5'7". Martels is 6'8". Let's watch. That just looks so funny. He's so small and he's so large. All right. Try Cordell up the seam. Oh, who is that? LaDorian McCray on the sack. Knox. Nowhere to go. That was a good forced fumble. Try Page again. All right. Let's try Cooper Price outside, one-on-one. That was a good catch. That's what we want to see. Try Jalen Page. Breaks one. Can't get away from Kendrick, though. He looks to be a pretty good tackler. I wasn't really expecting that too much from him, but yeah. I feel like Jalen Page is just, he's still just a little slow. Okay. Cordell Hicks. Drag routes only for him from now on. If he's going to do that every time. See, oh, that was a bad throw. Because his trucking rating isn't crazy, but every time he seems to be in the open field, he's always trucking someone. Alright. Jalen Page, open field. Good blocks. Yeah, he's still just a little slow. Not super slow, but I feel like, well, Cordell Hicks needs to be more involved. I forget how many catches he ended up having, but he needs more than that this year. The problem, though, is we have, like, last year I had like 9 different guys who were decent at receiver. So it's tough to get just one person involved. Uh-oh. Oh, Deion Kendrick. I'm excited for him. I think he's going to be really good for us. That's a good throw and catch. Yeah. I think this is where Hicks shines. In the slot, you can do that. Bounce off a couple of defenders. That was a good play. Bukowski on the sack. You can see how much the jerseys break down as the practice goes along. Oh, wow. Deion Perkins. He is a large man. Nice play by Nate Went. Also, that's another good place for Hicks, is on crossing routes like that, where he can get a linebacker lined up against him and just beat him. Because he is a good route runner. Good hands, good speed. Does pretty much everything well. Oh my. LaDorian McCray with a big hit. Hoping for a better season from Pedro Martels. He didn't really do much last year. Alright. Feel like we haven't really thrown to Knox much. Well, best overall on our team. See if he can make some plays. Good play by Warner. Wide open. Where are you going, Ross Bukowski? Nowhere close. That was a good tackle by Mitchell. I think he's going to be good. I think he may redshirt, and we'll just go with 3 safeties. Like, Cordell Hicks. I'm so excited to play with him again. Just plays like that with his, hopefully a linebacker actually on him. Catch by Terrence Mitchell, though. See if he makes a play. Nope, Bukowski. Ah. Get Knox even more isolated. Good play by Mitchell and Zakowski. Those are the type of runs we like to see from Jalen Page. I feel like he hasn't done a whole ton of making people miss so far, Like, first contact, he goes down. But that was a good one. Breaks one, makes another miss. Oh my. J.R. Miller's arm definitely got stronger. Yeah. Just plays like that, if he can do that consistently, then I think he can be more consistent, get closer to 5 yards per carry instead of 4. All right, but I think the stream is going to be coming to an end pretty shortly, unless there's anything else anyone wants to see. Because we've seen, I think, all the quarterbacks, the running backs play, except for Pierce Libby, but we know what he's like. He's consistent, not super fast, not super quick, but just consistent. Saw most of the receivers. Corners and defensive players I wanted to see. Yeah. Like that play right there, you get a safety or a linebacker on Cordell Hicks. There's no stopping that. Oh. Good force fumble. But, yep, I think that will do it now. I appreciate everyone coming out, watching the off-season again. It'll probably be a few days before we get to week 1. First, the off-season recap's going to be going up. I would think maybe by Friday, week 1 will be going up. Maybe probably by the end of the week at the latest. And then season recap probably in the next few days. But should be a fun season. A lot of new players, a lot of players getting better. I think the talent on this team's already gone up a whole lot. But yeah, see ya GT. Once again, appreciate everyone coming out. I'll see you for that off-season recap where we'll see new numbers, new head coach will be very important. I don't think the schedule will change, but the depth chart, all that type of stuff. But I hope you all have a great rest of your day and have a good Memorial Day.